Okay. Okay, we are recording. So good evening, everybody. This is July the 22nd. I'm Kathy Lanham, Associate Executive here with Forever, not here, with Forever. And tonight, I want to just welcome you again to the summer series that we're doing. We have been so pleased that so many people have shown an interest and have gone back and watched the videos. So just as a refresher and a reminder, when we do these, when we do the classes, we are recording them, and I'm going to go ahead and share my screen, and we record them to the and add them to a collaborative album. So once we add them to the collaborative album, that link is in the JPEG Jockey. Nope, we changed the name to Photo Tips and Tricks. So it is in that Facebook group. So good, good, good. Okay, so right here with albums, so that it'll be reserved for everyone who's not here. When you go to your album section, and we'll wait while it's loading up all of my albums. Here's what I'm talking about. Up top in the right corner, do you see where this says visited albums? So if you ever go click on that collaborative link just the once, then it'll show up here in your visited albums. And I hesitate to I don't even know why I clicked it. I told you, and so that was good. So here's all the different places that I have been, and it is not letting me move. Your guys are right in the middle of the screen, so that should be fun. But these are the albums that I have been to before, and so those are all there. Okay, so that's how you get back to that. So we didn't assume that you had that knowledge. I have now showed you where it is. But tonight, what we're going to do is I'll try to pull up the Artisan 6 module. There it is. Can you see my screen? Can you see some pages from a book? All right, so what we're going to cover tonight is we're going to look at some details of we're going to review adding pages, how you do that, and then a little known photo fix. So we're gonna look at just a few little basics tonight and then answer questions. But sometimes you may be working on a project and I'm dead in the water over here. It's just not moving. Okay. Over here in my workstation to the left. Okay, let's let them in. So over in the photos panel, the pages panel, I'm in the page view and I was working along this weekend with the crop. Hey, Gail, so glad you're able to join us. So I was working along, was not paying attention. I'm doing one blueprint after another. And oh, imagine my surprise when I get to this page and it's telling me, well, I've added one page, but I'm at 22. So I'm like dead in the water here. I've got blueprints to do. I have other things I need, other pages I wanted to add, and it didn't let me add it. So we're going to review what we were shown last week with Leanne, or with Bev. So I can actually go hover over the little arrow here because there's multiple ways to add pages to your account. Okay. I can hover over this arrow, and when I click that drop down menu, it's going to give me several options. I can insert one or more blank pages, and they're going to come right in here after this last page. I can do a pre-designed page, so that would be the artwork that you've already purchased on your computer. I can duplicate this page. I can do a mirror image. That's very handy sometimes. And I can remove this page. That's one way that I could add. But if I go up to my home ribbon, so follow my arrow up here to the top left, and I come across to my project, then right here is a great little place to stop, because when I hover over this drop down arrow, and remember those little triangle arrows are always going to be your friend. Always click it and see what it does. So here's where I could use a template from an art kit. So this is anything I've purchased that is on my computer in the program, okay, or with the program. This is not a blueprint, and it's just so slow. I should not have clicked it. But that means anything that I have on my computer, and I can go zippity doo dah and put it right in there. I can also, oh, now it tells me that we're not responding. Isn't that lovely? So here it comes. So here are all of the different kits I have. I can change it. I can add very easily just by, normally I would just click these one at a time and they would pop right up, but I'm going to stop myself here in just a second. I'm gonna quit clicking. But any of the programs, the template is anything that I already have in in my kit. So let's see. We're going to pull out one page. I don't even know what this is. Fabulous. Good. It's figures. Now, the drop down menu here will show you, typically it'll show you, yeah, 2 photos per page, 3, 4, 5, 6, all collage. So I can add any one of these. Let's say I just want to do a 6 pictures, 6 photos on a page. Just that easily, I can say add that selected page, and it's going to do it in about 20 minutes. But so it will also, if you go from that home ribbon up there, it's also going to add those at the end of your project. So there it comes in slowly but surely. So I have another page. I could also add a blueprint. So those items that you get from the Pixels to Pages team. So I can add a blueprint, and it's trying to do 2 things, so it won't. So I can also add a blueprint, and I can also add any number of blank pages. Now, that's what I just did for a client. She had a book that was 169 pages long. She had converted a scrapbook. So what I was doing was just taking her digitized pages, they were JPEGs, and I was going to put them in a book for her. So I needed 169 pages. The books are 21. So I just went in here to the add blank pages, and I put in whatever I put in, 149, whatever I did. So, and it took it a few minutes, but it added all those blank pages right in there. And so here's how you do it when you say add blank pages, and I hesitate to do anything other than a small number. So I'm going to say 2, I'm going to say okay, and then these are also going to come in right at the end of your book. Now, just like if you needed to move the pages around, it's super easy to do so. You just click and drag and it would move it. Okay? Any questions at all on how you would add pages? Because you know there is one more way, right? That's the way Bev showed us last week, and that's over here under the template area. So you can add a template from the programs that you have on your computer, exactly the same as what's over here, or you can also do your blueprint, and that would be your page file from your computer. All right, so that's 3 ways to do the same thing. Right here, if you know you don't want a blank page, you want a blueprint or you want a template. Right here, if you may want a little bit of both, a blank page or 2 and a template or a blueprint, or you can also add it come to the right over here in the work section by hovering over the little down arrow, and then I can insert a pre-designed page here. So this would be the same thing as the template. Any questions?
No, Kathy, this is Shauna.
Yes, ma'am.
So you can also add multiple files from your computer. Can you add multiple templates from an ArtKit at the same time?
I don't think you can add them at the same time. I think you have to do those individually, but Leanne or Dawn, feel free to correct me if I'm wrong in that.
I believe you are right.
Yeah,
Okay.
I think so too, yeah.
Yeah.
All right, so it's one at a time from an ArtKit, but you can choose multiple
Art kits or multiple blueprints.
blueprints from your
Yes.
blueprint file, and then they'll all come in, but they might not come in. You might have to rearrange them because they can
Right.
come in at different.
Yes,
Okay.
ma'am. Okay.
All right.
All righty. So now here's what we're going to go back to. I'm going to go up to this page right here, and we're going to talk about another piece on the home ribbon that we haven't touched on that's basic, and you all probably all know all this, but just in case, as it swirls around, we're going to talk about this little photo tab up here and what happens when you click on the photo tab. And also when this page loads up finally and forever, we're going to look at the photos, how you add photos, which you know, you could add them from Historian, you can add them from Forever, or you can add them from your computer. And that's all with the click of a button under your Photos tab. And I'm pointing at it since you can't see anything on my screen yet. I'm just pointing at it so you would know.
There is.
Okay, so that's loaded up. So now I can hit Photos here. So I'm over in the home screen. And are you guys, I hope that this recording does not have you right in the middle like it does on my screen. I hope the recording comes out clean. But on Photos, as you're working on your projects, and you probably know this, but just in case, making sure that we define all the terms and everybody knows, the little drop down arrow here, you have choices of how you work with your pictures. I would suggest only bring the pictures in small batches that you're going to work with, but sometimes you keep bringing them in and you get a lot. So you can be looking at all your photos, the photos that you just have not used, and that's going to take it a minute, but there it comes. And then you can do just the photos on this page, photos that you've already used or photos on this page. And for time, I'm going to show you the photos on this page. So these, because there's only 4 of them, those 4 pictures should pop up over here. So that's a cool little workaround tool. If you haven't, if you've never used it or didn't know that was there, I live in this space. Just show me what I haven't used. Okay. But now when you're working in your project, another fun little cool factor is when you click on and you highlight a photo, then different things will pop up, but you'll see that the photo tab will. And the photo, I think that our photo, what's the word? Photo correction, autocorrect, that's not the right word. Our ability to correct photos, whatever, somebody help me out with my words here, has come so far with this new edition of Artisan 6. So when you tell it to autofix, look what happens over here on the right. Has everybody used this before? Yeah? No? Okay. So on the autofix, you have a multitude of choices of how you would like to correct a photo, and it will show you on the page. Now you can see it's taken an interminable amount of time, but the perfectly clear, did you see how that lightens and brightens your photos? So that gives it a little extra oomph. It's just one click and it automatically corrects everything across the board. Okay. Your perfectly clear beautify. Now this is great for close-ups of people. And if you forget what each one of these different squares do, if you hover over it and you hold your mouth right, it will tell you, oh, this is great for close-ups of people. So this one would be a good one. It smooths wrinkles and lines out. It gives you that little, like a little filter, if you will. The perfectly clear, they're all perfectly clear, but then we have Beautify Plus. This is a little bit more extreme with the smoothing. It makes you, this one can sometimes make it look a little bit like you've definitely altered the picture. Okay. The Gentle Boost is, it's fun. It's good for photos that you've taken indoor or pictures that you've taken on your phone. The Gentle Boost helps just crisp it up a bit and clears it up. Natural skin tone, this one is hilarious because it'll make her go way like pale as a white donut. So I didn't love that on her. The Perfectly Clear Outdoor, let me finish this one. It works great with outdoor sunlight pictures. Now, if you have outside pictures, landscapes that need to be just vivid, that is this one. It boosts the colors and it's a great choice. Now we have the standard auto contrast and auto color. These have been around for a while. The auto color is going to do, it fixes your color. It's going to neutralize out all of the midtones. So see how it darkened it up and it changed her. You can see her little hair up there now. Whereas the standard auto contrast is going to give you a line between your darks and your lights. And sometimes I will literally click on just a lot of it. I'll click one after another to go, which one do I like the best? And I think actually on this one, I liked the Perfectly Clear the best because it lightens up that background just a little bit. But those will work. It'll continue to spin and it'll work in the background until you have to tell it, okay, well, I'm good with that. I would like to go with that. That's great. And then when you say okay, then it changes it. But you can't go to like another picture and to choose another option until you tell it to correct. And I'm moving you guys around all over the place. So when I click autofix again, this is an outdoor sunlight picture. So that's going to give me the option here in just a second of the vivid or the outdoor sunlight. And here's the Perfectly Clear. And sometimes with the outdoor, with the little views over here on the side, it's enough to go, oh, no, that's the one I want. And sometimes you're like, well, I don't know. Let me try this. Let me try that. And so because of the pinks and the blues, I think as soon as this stops spinning, I'm going to try it with a vivid and see how well we do. But so that's a great way to really enhance your pictures to make you look like you're more of a professional photographer than you are. And anytime you have dark photos and you're going through, you really want to look when you are looking at your finished product, your finished page. Like even now that I've done something with these two, I'm like, oh, I might need to try it over here on this one. I'm just going to click OK to see if I can force this thing to stop. Force it to stop. So that is just a good little a help that can help you make your pages look a little bit better. And you can definitely match the tone of your pictures. If you have one or more that are a little dark, then you can match it that way. And I was going to go through and show you that, but because it's taking such a long time, what we're going to do is I'm going to refer you back up here to the top ribbon. And instead of showing you all these little options, I'm just going to point to them. Red eye. You know what red eye is? It's super simple. If you have a picture that has red eye, it's going to give you a dropper or it's going to give you a brush. And oh, look at there. It might come up here today. And what you're going to do is you're going to just take that little dropper. You're going to come into the middle of the eye. Obviously, that red arrow, the circle with the red line for it, is not, it's telling me that I am not ready. So you click on the red in the eye and it's recognizing that there is no red in those eyes. So it knows you can't fool it. If there's no red eye, it's not going to let you fix a red eye. Touch up is kind of fun. This is when, oh, now we're going to say cancel and we're going to say cancel. Touch up is fun. And then here are other ways that you can work with your pictures with the blur, with a soft focus that's going to give it that little edge. Sharpen it up. If it's a little bit blurry out of focus, you can actually sharpen it and then you can clean up. And then obviously these are the things that you can do right with your photo. You can rotate it, you can zoom in, you can replace it, you can remove it. It all comes right here. All right. Any questions on that? You guys have used that in your champs? All right. Then our mats are really fun because you can double, triple mat. You can do all types of insets and inserts. And that is the last thing on this section of the ribbon that we haven't covered. So you can choose your mat feel. So I could go over here and choose these 3 pictures, except it's not letting me choose them. Oh my goodness, are we having all the technical difficulties tonight? Good thing you girls have used it because this is a review for you instead of an instruction. All right, well, it's not letting me do a blessed thing. So this shows your standard mats, your different cutouts that you can use. You can have a shadow mat, you can do a cutout, you can adjust your width, you can adjust your reliefs, and then you say okay, and then you can see what your photo's where your photo is. All right, so that is by and large what we had for the night. I was going to add a mat and I was going to change the color in case you had questions, but I'm not sure that it's going to do that. The last thing I was going to talk about after the mat was going to be, I'll just give it one more, the old college try, right? I hate to be beaten by a computer. So we're just going to go simple. So this is your mat fill right here. I could also work with this on the quick access toolbar, but let's say that I want to fill this mat with a solid color. Well, I absolutely could do that. And when I click on it, it's going to say, well, you know, here's your color picker. Here's colors on this page. Would you like to match that? Why, yes, I would. And so I could do that, or I could say, oh, well, wait a minute, maybe I like the lighter pink, or maybe I'll just stay with the white. And whatever you choose, that's what it's going to do. And then I can make that, I'm going to go back to that hot pink and I'm going to say, okay. And now I can choose, I can make that width much more so that the picture looks as if it's smaller, even though it's, you know, and I can actually type in here what I want the width to be. So you don't have to do the sliders. Sometimes the sliders can be a little aggravating, but you can do the relief and you can switch that back and forth. Now, I'm going to tell it to cancel that so it goes back to that page so that it matches. And I'm going to say save. And the last thing we're going to talk about would be your filters. Now, are you guys masters of filters? Do you know how to use those and what they all do? Kind of, sort of, know? Okay. This is super fun. And this is an area that I would say, and mine, of course, I should have just told it not to save any changes. But if you have your artisan open now, you can click on that. But this is one where you can do 3D edges to your pictures, to your pages, to your embellishments, to your words. So you type a title in and you can make it all 3D. Now, I did not do it with this one. Dang it. So I can't show you. I did it on a lot. I 3D edged a lot of my things. You can put surfaces on your paper. So where you would maybe just have a plain colored background and it's fine. It's a piece of paper, but you can add a whole lot more interest if you do a brick pattern or a weave pattern or a cotton pattern. And there's all different ones that you can choose from. And then you can also take your pictures and you can distort them. You can make it look like it is an art. You can use the art diffuse glow. You can make it look at diffuse glow. You can make it look like an oil painting, not an art painting, an oil painting. So you have lots of options with your filters. And it applies to not only your photos, but all of your pages and your embellishments. So that is definitely one I would encourage you to play around with. And if this blue bar here across the way will get out of the way, we'll pull it up. And I will show you. And actually, let me see. I know Sean's page I did it on their page. Where's their page? Is he going to let me move it? Let's see. There should be Amber and then Sean. Okay, we're just going to open up filter and we're not going to worry about it. We're just going to go with what we've got. If it'll open, then I'm going to be eternally grateful. And if it doesn't, then you'll have to play with it on your own. And yes, of course, my Artisan 6 is not responding. Does anybody have any questions while we're sitting here waiting for that little blue circle? This is really like aggravating as sin. Because when you take all these notes and you make all the notes and you have all these little things you're going to show, and then you can't, it's like, what? Oh, okay. So format, here we go. Our filters. So we can have artistic filters and I'm just going to hope, yes. So you can do a diffuse glow. You can do a rough painting. You can do an oil painting, an angled spray, or a fractal map, which is going to break it up into all kinds of little pieces. Now for your edges for a photo, for a piece of paper, you can do an alpha gradient, which, oh, that's such a cool one to show. If I choose that, all right, if this picture's clicked down here. And so if you look in the preview area over here, can you guys see that? I can invert the mask. See how it cut out little stars along the picture? Can you see that?
Mm-hmm.
So you can change the edges. This is really fun for kids' photos, for sports, if they're playing, they've won a tournament and all stars, anything. And there's different ones that you can do. There's different, so you can choose different gradients. That's what I was hoping would pop up there, and it finally did. So that's your edges. Then the softened edges, that gives it that, it gives that diffuse glow there on the edge. You can draw your edges, and then the 3D edges. Let's see if it will let me go to my pages and choose. Here we go, Sean and Jessica. I just saw it. If it'll come up. No, don't save my current changes. We're good. We're good. Don't save anything. Just move on. I just ordered this one, so I was excited about it. But when you type, you can use an alpha set, and the alpha sets are great like they are, but sometimes you can give them just a little bit more pizzazz if you add the 3D edge. And there's the slider bars that show how far, how much or how little you want to use. And it's pretty cool. You could also do it, like I said, on embellishments or pages. So while we're doing that, and now it's spinning and I can't load anything else. But then you have the distortion and then surfaces and stylize. So these are all great ones to go in there and play with. I'm just going to show you this, and we're going to close it out and see if you have any other questions, because this is just a lot of waiting for something to pop up. So you guys are all pros. You've done all this already. Is there anything, well, if you haven't, has everybody worked with the different filters? Okay, so I lied. I didn't do Sean and Jess's name, but this back piece right here was just, I cut out a piece of white paper. See how I gave it a 3D edge here? Can you see that?
Mm-hmm.
Does it show big enough? Okay. So that just added a little extra pop to the, just set it apart just a bit. Okay. So I have to click something for the edges to show up. Come up. So for our distortions, you can do vibrations, ripple glass, ocean waves, old glass, water drips, sphere eyes, and swirl. Normally you're going to do that on your background, or normally I'm going to do that on my background. I guess I could do it on a picture. I'm not going to try it. I would like to keep this video going. Texture, when you click on texture, this is what I was talking about on the back of your page. You can do, when you click on the down arrow, you're going to see 12 or 18 different options that you have here. So you can change the background. It adds it. So this is, okay, this is already showing you. So see that it's this part of her chin. Let me click out of that. I'm going to say cancel, because that would be terrible to do that to her chin. We're going to say cancel, 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 cancel. Okay, well, this is giving us a little preview of if I use this block filter on her, oh, because I have to cancel it here first. That's why. Cancel. All right, so over here in my panel over here, if I can move you guys around, I'm going to choose the ice cream. So I'm going to choose the background, and now I'm going to choose its surface. Well, I would like to choose its surface. Surface, please. There we go. Oh my goodness. Usually this is a very quick click normally. So this is showing the block, and one that's easy, just that you can see, easy peasy. I'm just going to choose the bricks because that makes it simple. I'm going to say the brick style. And if I say okay or preview, then we're going to see here how it's going to put a brick pattern over top the pattern that's already there. Sometime today. And that just gives it, see how it just gives it a whole different layer. So, and then you can 3D that if you want. So it just gives it a different type texture and feel, and then you can make it opaque or more, less opaque, more opaque. You can amplify it so you can have bigger lines, more pronounced lines, or you could say, maybe not. Maybe I want it real subtle, then I can bring it down the other way. And then those lines are a bit more subtle, and it's going to take it a second to pick that up. And then same thing with my scaling, it makes it wider apart or closer together. Okay, with that, I'm going to say we're done, and done, because it's just, I feel like I'm talking in circles and boring you, so I don't want to do that. Preview, we're previewing, and now we want to say stop. Okay, so there we go. All right, I'm going to, if I can get you guys back up here and get that out of the way, which I cannot, we're going to stop sharing, and we're also going to stop the recording, hopefully. Let's see if it gives me, let's see, does it give me control? There it is. Okay, are there any questions either about what we talked about tonight or about forever, or any questions in general? You got
Just some practice.
pros and you got this down. Practice is always the thing. And tonight's
Yes.
a super simple one. But last week when Bev was going through, I was like, oh, this is kind of like sharing the gospel. You have to define your terms. And we keep going, oh, go to this level. Oh, go here. Oh, just go to the collaborative album. Oh, and it's like, do you guys even know how to get to the collaborative album? So those will be posted in the Photo Tips and Tricks group. Once you go there, just go back and you can watch any of the ones. I think we've got them all labeled now. Okay. So you
Okay.
can't miss a trick. So if you've missed a few, then that's fine. Gail, it's good to see you too. Glad you're on. And Shauna, thank you for joining us, and Leanne. And if we have no questions, we're going to let you get out of here at 8:06. How about that?
Okay.
All right. Thank you guys for jumping on. We
Okay.
appreciate you.
Bye.
Take care. Bye-bye.
Bye.